Hello everyone, welcome back to STW Sports, and today I'm going to be reviewing the EFL weekend from January the 29th until February the 1st. Some big games. There was more games played than there has been recently. Of course, a lot of games have been off due to the weather or because of COVID, but there was pretty much a full match day in both leagues this week, bar the odd couple of games here and there. But I'll get straight on with it anyway, starting with the Championship. On Friday the 29th of January, Reading 3, AFC Bournemouth 1. Big result this one for Reading, and one that really has convinced me they can push promotion this season. Reading have been very good this season, take nothing away from them, but against the bigger teams they struggled a little bit more. They were beaten by Bournemouth earlier on in the season despite having a 2-0 lead. They lost the game 4-2. On this occasion though, they kept the lead 3-0 up at half-time. They blew Bournemouth away in what was a very impressive first half. Bournemouth's form is really bad at the moment. They've just sacked their manager Jason Tindall as well. So yeah, they've certainly got work to do, Bournemouth, now, as they could well slip out of the playoffs very soon. As for Reading though, what a result this is for them. They were brilliant the whole game. Fair play to them. Saturday 30th of January, Norwich City 0, Middlesbrough 0. I mean, this wasn't the best game. Middlesbrough will be happier out the two teams with a draw. Buendia was sent off with 25 minutes to go, and the game wasn't really that great. But with Middlesbrough's recent form and the fact they lost to Rotherham 3-0 the game before this, they'll definitely be the happier out of the two teams. Norwich are going through a little bit of a dry patch in terms of goals right now. Birmingham City 1, Coventry City 1. Yeah, the second draw of the season between these two ground sharers. It wasn't a terrible game. It wasn't as bad as the one at Coventry, but it still wasn't great. Both the goals were in the opening half an hour. There didn't really seem like a lot to separate the two. Coventry are doing okay though. They are pulled quite away from the relegation zone, but Birmingham are in big danger of being dragged into it. I do think Karanka does have quite a bit of work to do with this Birmingham team. Hasn't really gone to plan this season. They could be in a relegation battle if they're not careful. Brentford 7, Wycombe Wanderers 2. Yes, you heard that right, 7-2. What a result this is for Brentford. The game was 2-2 at half-time, locked quite well. Wycombe were hanging in really well, playing good football. But second half, whatever the manager said to the players at half-time for Brentford, it truly worked. 7-2. I mean, they scored 5 in the second half. They were absolutely rampant. This is what Brentford can do to you, though. On their day, they're absolutely brilliant to watch, and this is why I think they'd be a wonderful addition to the Premier League if they were to come up. But a very good result in Brentford right now. They're looking good odds, possibly, I think. Very good performance here. As for Wycombe, yeah, again, the quality of the Championship really does seem overwhelming for them right now. They just can't seem to get a win under their belt, and they're very much down in relegation. Rotherham United 1, Swansea City 3. Good result for Swansea. A game many people expected them to win, but still, Rotherham have picked up their form recently, more away from home. But yeah, this was a pretty routine win for Swansea. Rotherham did pull a late goal back, a bit of consolation, but Swansea are so solid at the back, and they just look good right now. For me, I can see them winning the Championship. Out of all the teams, they look the most impressive. Another good win here, and yeah, Rotherham couldn't really cope with them on the day. A very good result though for the Welsh side. It looked like they could be playing Premier League football next season for the first time since 2018. Next up, we had Blackburn Rovers 1, Luton Town 0. Yeah, a game where Luton defended really well, to be fair to them, but Blackburn had to be patient, but they got their goal with Adam Armstrong. Their usual source for goals, although they have dried up a little bit recently. Very impressed recently with getting there with Blackburn. They're starting to pick a little bit of form up again. Blackburn are a team who need to be pushing for the playoffs, in my opinion. They've got the youngster Harvey Elliott, had a very good season. They've got a goal scorer in Armstrong. They don't really have the excuse to not be pushing for the playoffs. But yeah, they've obviously had their troubles recently. But yeah, good result for them, a 1-0 win. As for Luton, they're having a good season, but they came up a little bit short here in a game where they defended really well. So a 0-0 probably would have been fair for them, but they had to concede a goal for a moment of quality. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Preston North End 0. Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, great result for them. They're in a bit of a dogfight down there, of course. Even if they didn't have the point deduction, they'd well and truly be down there. They've had 3 managers this season. When you have that many in a season, it's very rare a team stays up. But no, to be fair to Sheffield Wednesday, they're making a bit of a fight of it. As for Preston, this was another bad day at the office for them. Very inconsistent Preston, probably the most inconsistent team in the league. And yeah, another defeat for them. But as for Sheffield Wednesday, great result, and they're one that they quite deserve. They played really well. Cardiff City 1, Millwall 1. Mick McCarthy draws his first game, home game that is, in charge of Cardiff. Millwall are the draw specialists in the league, and they got another one here. Yeah, I mean, McCarthy might take a little bit of time with Cardiff. I don't think they're going to push the playoffs this season. For me, they won't go in the relegation battle either, I don't think. A season of mid-table mediocrity, it's certainly looking like that's going to be the case. A 1-1 draw, it was a fair result in the end, really. A game of not an awful lot of quality, but it was a fair enough game. Huddersfield Town 1, Stoke City 1. Yeah, bearing in mind Stoke played for 10 men for all of the second half, they'll definitely take this point. Yeah, not the best game, really, but fair play to Stoke for hanging on with 10 men, I guess. Huddersfield, as I've said, I think mid-table for them seems to beckon this season. It really looks like it's going to be that. As for Stoke, they were making a good playoff push, but their form of late hasn't been good. They haven't won for a good while now. They need to start picking up wins again. They're still well in the race, don't get me wrong, especially with Bournemouth's form, who are in 6th. But they need to start picking up wins, because right now, too many draws, really, and the odd loss here and there isn't really helping them. But yeah, they've got work to do, but they're still not in a bad position. And a draw's better than nothing in this situation when you have 10 men. Derby County 1, Bristol City 0. Another 1-0 win for Wayne Rooney's Derby County. Yeah, Rooney knows what to do when it comes to getting 1-0s at the moment. But hey, Derby County will take any result they can get right now. The season they've had has been pretty poor, but a 1-0 win over a promotion-chasing Bristol City is a very good result. This could be a damaging one for Bristol, though. They could have done without a defeat like this, but as for Derby, they're pulling well away from relegation now. I always thought they'd be okay, but they're starting to get there. And fair play to Rooney. He's taken on a good challenge here, and right now he's doing okay, but there's a long way to go yet. And the final game on Saturday, Nottingham Forest 0, Barnsley 0. A forgettable game, to be honest. Nothing really happened here. I mean, Forest, they're in a bit of a relegation battle, but I think they'll be okay like Derby. I never really believed they'd go down. Barnsley have been terrific since the new manager came in. Starting to fade a bit recently, though, but a 0-0 was fair. It was a poor game of football, really, where I think a 0-0 was deserved. And then we had our final game, which is on Monday Night Football, Monday the 30th of January. Watford 1, QPR 2. A big upset at Vicarage Road here. Watford's home form has been brilliant this season. 1 defeat all season to Cardiff. But no, QPR had other ideas. 1-0 down, but they scored 2. The addition of Charlie Austin's going to do wonders for QPR. I don't think he's a Premier League standard striker anymore, but certainly in the Championship, he's their man. In the Championship, I think Charlie Austin will easily get these to safety QPR. They're in a bit of trouble. They've been dragged into relegation battle still, but I think the win like this, it'll do their confidence the world of good. And look, they've so improved since Austin arrived, and just in general recently, they look much a better team, and they really missed Eberechi Eze at the start of the season. But yeah, as for Watford, I mean, it's a disappointing result for them and a big blow. I still think Watford will get the playoffs the way they're going. They've got the team for it, certainly, but results like this do not do their automatic promotion push any favours. And yeah, and we'll do our usual game of the week. I've gone for Brentford 7, Wycombe 2. It was even an entertaining game before Brentford ran away with it. It was 2-2 at half-time. It was a good game, so I'm going to go with this one. Result of the week, Reading 3, AFC Bournemouth 1. Because I think this is a result that makes Reading legitimate contenders. That's why I choose it as result of the week. A very good one. And top scorer, Ivan Toney, has 19 goals now. So Ivan Toney is the top scorer. Brentford just seem to have a good striker on their books every season. No matter who they sell, someone comes in and does just as good. So moving on to League One on Saturday the 30th of January. Sunderland 2, Gillingham Town 2. Yeah, I mean, not the best game really here. No, it was a good game, sorry, but not the best result, I should say, for Sunderland here. Gillingham equalised in the last minute. I mean, really, Gillingham just kind of stole a point here. It looked like Sunderland were going to win, no problem in the end. They were 2-1 up last minute, and then Gillingham scored a late goal. So, yeah, disappointment for Sunderland, who could have done with a win, there's no doubt about that. As for Gillingham, I mean, I'm always mentioning them as this inconsistent team. I mention that every single week, but this is a pretty good result for them away at Sunderland now. But Sunderland aren't doing great at the moment either. Crewe Alexandra 1, Ipswich Town 1. Given Crewe's recent home form, I think they'll be quite disappointed with this. Ipswich certainly haven't been doing great recently. I had them to go up automatically at the start of the season, but that is not looking very likely at the moment. Yeah, 1-1 draw. I mean, Crewe have been really good until they've got near the playoffs, and they seem to have hit a bit of a wall. But then again, Crewe have played so many more games than the other teams that I think they've not even had a game called off yet, Crewe. That's why they are where they are. But yeah, a 1-1 draw. No, fair play to them. They only just came up last season. They're doing very well. But it was a pretty fair draw. Oxford United 1, Fleetwood Town 0. Considering Fleetwood had a red card early in the game and they're in terrible form, I thought Oxford were going to win this game about 5-0, but no, only one, and it was a very easy 1-0. It wasn't really a great game, to be honest with you, bearing in mind one team had 10 men. You thought Oxford were going to be all over them. Wasn't really the case, but hey, Oxford got the win, that's all that matters. Their 8th league win in a row. Shrewsbury Town 2, Peterborough 0. Wow, what a result for Shrewsbury. What a terrible result for Peterborough, though. They do have these results in them, Peterborough, which is why, for me, they're not top of League One. I think they're a good team, but they have results in them like this, where it's losses that are just not going to do them any good. But on that note, fair play Shrewsbury. Great result for them. Only their 2nd home win of the season. Yeah, brilliant stuff. A Chapman double as well did it for them. Yeah, what a result for them. Plymouth Argyle 2, Accrington Stanley 2. I think you could say this was a fair draw already. 2 teams who are doing quite well this season. Plymouth okay anyway, they're not doing as well recently, but a 2-2 draw was fair. It was quite an entertaining game actually, to be fair. It was a decent game of football, and I think a draw both teams probably won't be too disappointed with. Bristol Rovers 1, Rochdale 2. Big result for Rochdale this, absolutely massive. I think this just does them the world of good in what they're going through right now. They've been the entertainers of the league recently. They needed a game like this where they edged it out and they worked hard to get the win. They did that on this occasion, a 2-1 win, massive result for them. As for Bristol Rovers, yeah, they're looking a bit free fall at the moment. They're certainly not doing great. This is a great result for Rochdale, which moves them a little bit away from the relegation zone. AFC Wimbledon 0, MK Dons 2. Yes, the derby between these two, and it didn't really feel like a derby. MK Dons got a pretty comfortable win. Hey, Wimbledon are in wretched form at the moment. They're in big trouble, I will say that. It's not looking like they're going to stay up, unfortunately. I'll be surprised if they do, but MK Dons, they're doing okay at the moment. They've pulled well away from the relegation battle, where it's not going well right now for Wimbledon. Hull City 1, Swindon Town 0. Yeah, as someone who works for Swindon, radio that is, it wasn't the best this from them. I mean, they're not really expected to beat Hull, even though they've got a good record against them. But yeah, disappointing really if you're Swindon, sorry. And if you're Hull, it was a pretty easy 1-0 win. They scored early in the game, and Swindon just never showed anything in getting back into it. They just kind of just wanted to keep the score down by the looks of it and think that would have been a good result. But hey, they're not going to be judged on this game at the end of the day. They're going to be judged on games against Wigan that they had recently and they actually won. So that's the games they're overall going to be judged on. Lincoln City 0, Doncaster Rovers 1. What a game this was in terms of drama. Literally, Lincoln City missed 2 penalties in this game and Doncaster came away with a 1-0 win. Great job Darren Moore's doing at Doncaster. They're right up there in the promotion places. But yeah, not good though for Lincoln. I mean, they're still doing very well, don't get me wrong, but this is a bit of a bump in the road, to be fair. Disappointing result for them. So, game of the week, I've gone Sunderland 2, Gillingham 2. It was a good game with a last-minute goal, so I'm going to say it was game of the week. Result of the week, Shrewsbury Town 2, Peterborough 0. Great result for them, of course, as I mentioned already, but a terrible one for Peterborough. And the top scorer is Luke Jepcott with 14. Moving on to League 2 now. And we started on Friday the 29th of January with Colchester United 0, Scunthorpe United 1. Good result this, and it's an early goal from Beeston who got the winner. Disappointing for Colchester, if I'm being honest. They probably could have done without this, but I think mid-table for them is probably looking about right. As for Scunthorpe, they're doing okay now after what was a pretty bad start, but no, fair play to me, a good away win. Saturday 30th of January, Carlisle United 1, Exeter City 0. Big result for Carlisle. Exeter are a tough team to beat, so it was always going to be difficult, but they got there in the end with another hard-fought 1-0 win. I had Carlisle to finish very low early in the season. I'm going to be very interested when I do my end-of-season reviews on leagues, but no, they're looking good right now to go up as winners, to be fair. Forest Green 0, Cheltenham Town 0. I mean, it was a big game, this one, but nothing really happened in it. It was like both teams were kind of happy to draw in a sense, but yeah, it was a fair 0-0. Not really much more to say about it with 2 promotion chasers. Port Vale 5, Southend United 1. This is why Southend are bottom of the league. To be fair to Port Vale, when they're good, they are very good. They beat Bolton 6-3 earlier on in the season. When they're in form, they're very good. When they're not, they are not. That's the that's the thing with them. But they were brilliant here, 5-1. Southend, this is why they're bottom though. Terrible performance. Looked like a team who were going down. Can Southend sort it out? They're running out of time, but I still think they might just do it. But they're running out of time at the moment, that's for sure. Bradford City 2, Barrow 1. What an impact Mark Trueman and Connor Sellers have made at Bradford. It wasn't going their way under McCall. For nothing, I don't know Stuart McCall personally. I'm sure he's a great guy, but it wasn't going well for him there for some reason. But yeah, as for Bradford though, good result for them. I mean, Barrow were a tough outfit though. To be fair, they played quite well, but Bradford had a little bit too much from in the end, and it was a good 2-1 win. Cambridge United 3, Crawley Town 1. Big result for Cambridge as they remain top. Good result for them. And yeah, all I can say is they played well and they deserved the win. Crawley weren't really great, to be honest. Bolton Wanderers 2, Leyton Orient 0. Big result for Bolton this one. Bolton are in a little bit of a relegation battle. I don't think they'll go down. I mean, they're currently going through, a transitional season where they're trying to get it all sorted out. They've had their terrible bumps this season, though, Bolton. But overall, though, results like this for me will be enough to keep them in the division. Like, I don't think that should be Bolton's aim, but for this season anyway, that's probably the best they can hope for. But yeah, 2-0 win here. Good result. 2 of the goals were close together. Fair play to them. And to a big game now, Grimsby Town 1, Stevenage 2. Massive game, and Stevenage got a huge win. Their first away win of the season. Massive. As for Grimsby, they're in big trouble right now. Right now, I'm probably going to say they're going down because this is a game for me they couldn't lose, and they did. It's one of them that it was a big chance for them to get a home win. A team who's not won away all season. Didn't get there, though, and they are beaten. What a bad result. Oldham Athletic 2, Salford City 1. Yeah, to be fair to Harry Kilm, he's doing a good job right now at Oldham. Earlier on in the season, they were very inconsistent, especially at home, weren't really getting the results, but they're starting to sort it out, and they've beaten a lot of the promotion contenders. They seem to turn up Oldham when in the bigger games, so fair play to them, and a good win here. 2-1 win, fair play to Oldham, and yeah, maybe Harry Kilm can, keep on pushing this team up the table, but might be a bit too little too late. But they're only a few points off the playoffs, so you just never know. Harrogate Town 2, Newport County 1. What's going on at Newport right now? They were doing so good a few weeks ago, but they just can't put a run of form together right now. It's just their first home win, Harrogate, since October the 17th. Their home form has been... I said at the start of the season they need to make their home ground a fortress, but I think missing the fans has probably played a part, but they're really not doing that right now. But they got the win here, 2-1. Great result for them, as they're in a bit of danger, dragged into a relegation battle, but they've done okay here. Morecambe 0, Tranmere Rovers 1. Yeah, I had this as top and bottom virtually at the start of the season, I think, but, top and 23rd it was, as I always mention about that. But yeah, Tranmere got a 1-0 win here. 10 men though, Morecambe, so it wasn't really a surprise. That really damaged them, and Tranmere did enough. But yeah, fair play to them. They have really improved Tranmere after a really poor start, and I think mid-table's probably going to be about right for them. So, game of the weekend, I've gone Grimsby Town 1, Stevenage 2, and I didn't mention when bringing up the game, there was so much late drama in this game. Grimsby equalised in the 93rd minute, only for Stevenage to go and win it in the 95th, and for that alone, the drama, I am going for this as game of the week. And result of the week, you won't be surprised, is also this one, Grimsby Town 1, Stevenage 2. Could be massive for Stevenage come the end of the season, absolutely massive. And the top scorer is Paul Mullin with 18. Feels like he's been on 18 now for a very, very long time. But yeah, that is it overall on my EFL reviews from January the 29th until February the 1st. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back soon with more content. Thank you very much.